Yeah, it's working. Live. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's varsity football matchup between St. Stephen St. Agnes and your St. Christopher Saints. I am Albert Bowles, alongside Liam Nolan here on the call. The Saints coming off a tough loss against Trinity last week. They lost 20-17. We're looking for a comeback, but through a interception inside the 10-yard line that sealed the deal for the Trinity Titans. So, Liam, what do you think the Saints have to do better this week to get the win against St. Stephen St. Agnes?
I think all around offensive production just has to be better. I mean, we saw last week there was just no blocking really from the offensive line. The runs were getting stuffed up immediately. Rarely were the running backs able to get over the line of scrimmage before getting contact. So I think better interior blocking right off the snap would really help this Saints offense.
Yes. So St. Stephen St. Agnes get a touchback. So now the Saints will get the ball on about the 20-yard line. Let's see what they can do here on the first possession of the game.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be Griffin O'Farrell at starting quarterback this week. But we can expect that to change. We've seen O'Farrell and Williamson interchangeably in the first game against Trinity last week.
Yeah, they split about that game half and half.
So pass intended for Nigel Green is incomplete. Looks like a good throw, but a little bit behind him and just unable to bring it in. So it'll be 2nd and 10 now.
And Nigel Green is going to have to step up this game. If the Saints are looking to win, I mean, the Saints wide receivers are very big. They got Walker Wallace, number 13, Will Tazwell, number 2, and Nigel Green, number 4, who are all very tall. So let's see if the defensive backs can guard them with their size.
O'Farrell will roll right. Pass complete to Tazwell for the first down. 12-yard gain. Looks like tackle was made by number 1, Darius Wilson.
Tazwell had a big game against Trinity last week. Same with Wallace, who had the only passing touchdown. Gil Williamson threw about a 13-yard touchdown to him last week. So the wide receivers are going to have a big game this week, or excuse me, today.
First and 10 from their own 33. Pitch out to, looks like Hendrick. He'll be tackled after a 3-yard gain.
The Saints' running game is also very strong, as they got Hendrick, Forrest, and Cavanis in the backfield. So the Saints' running game is definitely not an issue, but last week the O-line wasn't doing very much. Hendrick is stopped for no gain. St. Stephen St. Agnes defense comes up strong on that possession. Excuse me, on that play. Dude, where am I?
Real. The tuck and run from Griffin O'Farrell. That's about a 70-yard QB keeper up the middle. That's incredible athleticism, and that's the kind of benefit that Griffin O'Farrell brings to the offense. We've talked about the comparison between him and Gil Williamson. The pro for Griffin O'Farrell is that his ability to tuck and run is like no other.
Yeah. Griffin O'Farrell is able to scramble for that touchdown. What a great run by him. Farrell is just too quick for the St. Stephen St. Agnes defense to bring him down.
So it'll be Jack Sewers line up for the extra point here. And it's good. So 7-0 here. Successful first drive.
Great opening drive by the Saints. It only took them less than 2 minutes to score, so that's a good sign for the Saints today. Let's see if St. Stephen St. Agnes can respond.
That's an impressive play call from head coach Lance Clellan there. I mean,
It really was.
I think St. Stephen's was probably dropping back, expecting 3rd and 8. It's a passing down, but designed run play for Farrell.
Yeah, Griffin fooled everybody on that defense, thinking he was going to do a pitch, but he just took it himself to the end zone. Sewers is set here to kick off. Sewers missed a field goal last week against the Titans. It's about a 30-yarder. So let's see if he can redeem himself this week.
Christian John Laurent on the return. He'll be wrapped up. Looks like it was
I
maybe
think
Gray Broadus.
Gray Broadus got there first.
Broadus is a great special teamer. Doesn't see a lot of the field in terms of offense and defense, but he's pretty reliable alongside George Hodgson on special teams.
The Saints have some key players on special teams, so the returning team won't look to get that many yards.
So looks like going to be Tyson Hill starting out for St. Stephen St. Agnes. Pascal will come in motion.
And he is just immediately met at the line of scrimmage. That's even a loss of yards. Hayden Forrest got there first, along with Hank Filer and Caleb Bay. Saints defense has really been strong on the front. I mean, their run game or their run stopping is just amazing. I mean, they got Bay, Filer, and Sullivan up front. They got Forrest, Moore, and Hendricks in the linebacker. And the Saints secondary's got Thomas, Grant, Avalea, and Damgard.
They're over the middle, intended for Luke Fisher, is incomplete.
It's a great play by Hendricks as he went for the legs.
So number 5 for St. Stephen's Agnes, Malcolm Johnson, has offers from Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan, along with a few others. So it'll be interesting to see how they operate with him today.
Yeah, St. Stephen's St. Agnes has a lot of talented players. I mean, I'm expecting this game to be a close game.
And guarding Johnson today will be Chris Thomas, the Brown commit.
Yeah. It's going to be a good matchup today between those two.
Looks like this is going to be a delay of game call. They might have gotten a timeout off first. We'll see. They did not get the timeout off, so it'll be a delay of game. They'll be pushed back 5 yards.
First penalty of the day belongs to St. Stephen's St. Agnes. Saints have been pretty good about their penalties last week, so see if they can keep that up here today.
Third and long. Tyson Hill will throw. Pass intended for 3 is broken up.
And he is just leveled by Avalea. So I'll bring up about 4th and 15. They are putting out of their own end zone.
Back for the Saints is Hayden Forrest. He'll catch that one with good progress. Stiff arms one, stays in bounds. Nope, just barely steps out. Almost broke that one back inside. Could have been dangerous. So the Saints will start off with great field position here. Already in St. Stephen St. Anna's territory.
And this looks like to be another promising drive for the Saints on their own 30, St. Stephen St. Agnes 35-yard line. So let's see if they can do what they did last possession and put up 7 on the board again.
So Tazwell in the slot. O'Farrell will hand it off to Cavanis. He'll be swallowed up immediately. No gain.
Yeah,
Andre Green will be the guy to watch today. He had an incredible game last week, and despite some questionable refereeing at the end there, he had 2 incredible catches.
They were very good catches, as he had one on the sideline. And then he had one in the end zone that was called back for offensive pass interference, which was a very questionable call. Let's see if he can do some of those catches again here.
They'll hand off to Hendrick. He'll break one, but a gang of St. Stephen St. Agnes tacklers there to meet him. Looks like that was Irvine Magadena there first.
Yeah, St. Stephen St. Agnes is doing a good job on this drive, stopping the Saints' run game, and they're really pushing the offensive linemen into their own backs and getting the stops.
Third and about 10 here for the Saints. Tazwell in the slot, Hendrick in the backfield. Oh. That was number 54, Brian Bell on the hold, right tackle.
Yeah, that was a really late flag, and it came from the referee who wasn't even near Bell. Yeah.
So usually that's the back judge that makes the call there. He was right there, but somehow someone across the field threw the flag instead.
Looks like the Saints have to redo third down. Looks like it's about.
Great effort, though, from O'Farrell.
Yeah, that was a great run again. And the Saints
O'Farrell
are just.
seems more comfortable scrambling this week than last week. I feel like he hasn't played varsity yet. Last week was his first varsity outing, and he's quickly transitioning into a great dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, O'Farrell. He's quick on his legs, and he's got a good arm, too. And then there's Williamson, who's really good on the arm. So the Saints have 2 very versatile quarterbacks, and it's going to be interesting how they use them.
So third and about 31 for the Saints here. O'Farrell will take the snap. He'll throw to Nigel Green, but broken up. Great hit, well timed by Darius Wilson. So 4th and 31, Saints will send out the punt team. Disappointing drive, but
yeah, it looked like a promising drive when they got the ball on St. Stephen St. Agnes 35-yard line, but then a couple run stoppages by St. Stephen's, and then the penalty really cost them. So now we're going to see Sewers punt. Let's see if this punt can be a deep one and set up St. Stephen St. Agnes on their own 10-yard line.
Great punt from Sewers.
And he touched it.
Turning it, he bobbled it, and now going to have terrible field position. Looks like he'll be down right around the 2-yard line. So that's what we were talking about earlier. Malcolm Johnson, who's got all the offers, but just bobbled the punt. And I think it's honestly, he bobbled it because
I think the sun may have been in his eyes.
I think the sun, but Sewers also bombed that over his head. He had to catch it over his shoulder.
Yeah, that was a really good punt by Sewers.
So St. Stephen St. Agnes will start out here on their own 3.
See if the Saints can possibly get a safety. They decide to run it or get a sack.
Jeff Moore and the linebackers are threatening the blitz. They'll hand it
That was
off,
a dangerous run.
and it looks like he got swallowed up. We'll see where they spot it. Looks like they'll be spotted the half-yard line.
I don't know. That was pretty close to a safety.
That was LaRon Stewart on the carry. He was swallowed up immediately.
So I'm just gonna guess that St. St. Agnes is gonna pass it here. I think run game is too dangerous when you got the Saints defense up front on the half-yard line. Think it's maybe gonna go to Malcolm Jennings. And he beat him off the line of scrimmage. And
Oh, it looks like there will be a flag. That could be defensive holding on Chris Thomas.
yeah, Thomas got a hand on the jersey. It held him back a little bit. Matt Grant also came on the coverage.
Yeah, the Saints safeties were pushed up into the box, so there wasn't much safety help for Chris Thomas there. And guarding a guy like Malcolm Johnson, a track star, is not an easy job.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to do, and I don't think Thomas saw that Grant was coming to help, so he grabbed a little bit of the jersey to slow him down. And that's going to be a penalty every time.
So we're yet to get a call here. Looks like it'll be pass interference on Chris Thomas. But definitely better than giving up a touchdown, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, so now St. St. Agnes has a little bit of breathing room to work with. They're not backed up on their own half-yard line. See how the Saints respond.
They'll hand it out wide. Stewart will bounce it out to the right. Actually pushed out of bounds by looks like Chris Thomas, Hendrick, and Matt Grant all there alongside Jeff Moore.
Yeah, I feel like when on a run game when the Saints always get a defender on the back and just a swarm of them come in and just helps. So you love to see the Saints just bring it down.
So two receivers out right. That's Johnson and Fisher. Looks like Hayden Forrest will be picking up there. They'll hand it up the middle. Looks like it was Pascal there, but Caleb Bay stuffed that run up pretty well.
Yeah, Caleb Bay is a really good run stopper. Offensive linemen always have a tough time guarding Bay.
Third and 5 for St. Stephen's St. Agnes here. Trips out right.
Look at that matchup. We got Damgard on the
Hill will
left
take
side of the
snap.
field.
That's Filer on the rush. It's a slip screen, but swallowed up by Jeff Moore in the backfield. Fourth down. That's one of the benefits of Jeff Moore is that not only is he physically dominant, but mentally he knows the game better than any other Saints defender. I mean, he's been on the team the longest out of anybody on this defense. Yeah. And except for that is Hayden Forrest, but Hayden has been playing defense as long as Jeff has. And in terms of recognizing plays, Jeff's as good as it gets.
Yeah, Moore is one of the best linebackers and defensive players to ever come through St. Chris. I mean, he can just read plays so perfectly, and he's so athletic that he can rush and he can guard receivers. So, you know, it's really hard to go up against him.
Fourth and short here. They'll be going for it. Looks like Hayden Forrest will come in. Looks like QB sneak. Not sure if they got it. Looks like they did. Saints were expecting a punt there. Hayden Forrest came in from about 30 yards back to try to stop the run, but they did in fact convert.
And that was a good play by the St. Stephen's St. Agnes. So now they get another set of downs to keep pushing. With about 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Saints still up 7-0.
There's not much you can do about that. I mean, they only got about half a yard.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to stop that.
So fumbled snap by Hill. Looks like that was maybe Stewart that fell on it immediately. Covered it up.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there, a little bobbled snap. So they'll bring up about 2nd and 15. St. Stephen's St. Agnes just making careless mistakes. They're costing them yards.
Stretch out left to Stewart. He's brought down by, looks like Matt Grant.
Yeah, Stewart's really good at shifting his way through defenders. I mean, he can fit through openings that the offensive linemen give him. He's just really good at maneuvering and shifting
Yeah,
through
at
players.
5'8", he can get lost
Mm-hmm.
in the pile pretty quick and then bounce it outside out of nowhere. He's dangerous.
He is. Saints linebackers in secondary are going to have to stay on their feet if they want to tackle him.
Hill with the snap. He'll look left. Looking in Damgard's direction. Looks like it was a Valet on the coverage. Pass intended for Darius Wilson. Is incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a completion if Hill had not ever thrown him. I mean, he beat Valet. I mean, that was a good play, just low overthrow.
So now it'll be Tyler Logan punting for St. Stephen's St. Agnes.
Saints have Hayden Forrest deep on the 30-yard line.
Brooks Council almost blocked that punt. Hayden Forrest will field it, but not much blocking for him. Looks like 5 or 6 St. Stephen's St. Agnes players around him immediately.
And I think Council could have blocked that kick. It's just he didn't want to lean forward and maybe get a roughing the kicker call on him, so he just went straight up instead of lunging forward.
Right.
But I think you always got to play it safe when it comes to that. Saints offense comes on for another drive. Last time they were stopped. First time they weren't, so let's see what they can do here. They gotta use a little more of their wide.
Run from Hendrick there. He's hard to bring down, especially once he starts getting going. He's a nightmare for any secondary.
He is. It's big stature and he's quick too, so it's just hard for anybody to bring him down.
I think Hendrick's a guy that we could see definitely go play at a top 25 school.
Definitely.
He's just got the size and athleticism. Division I back.
There are not a lot of people like him. It's pretty interesting.
Farrell takes a snap. Check down to Reed Terry, but just off the hands. Incomplete. Third and about 12 now.
Yeah, Farrell was considering running it, but saw Terry open and just off his hands. That was a good play by Farrell. Always looking for receivers. And his last option is to run.
Play clock's going to run out here on the Saints. Delay a game. Looks like Clellan was trying to change the play there, but there was 4 seconds on the clock when he called the audible, so didn't work out as planned.
How about the Saints have 5 yards?
And now it's going to be really hard to convert now. I mean, 3rd and 17.
Yeah, Saints are going to have to pull something nice off here.
I think we could see a pass here to Walker Wallace. He's 6'5", Cornell lacrosse commit. He's great at high pointing the ball.
He's got Tyler Jones guarding him. He's also 6'3", so it's a good matchup.
Nigel Green will be open across the middle, but just 3 yards short. Tackled by Darius Wilson. Looks like a post route by Nigel Green and a shallow drag maybe by Walker Wallace.
That was a good play for the Saints. It's just they didn't get enough of yards. That penalty really.
And it looks like 4 down territory here for the Saints. Not close enough to kick a field goal, but too close to be punting. So they'll line up to go for it. O'Farrell will pitch it out left at Forrest. He breaks it out left, but too many people there.
The Saints didn't do enough blocking up front with the receivers. So that'll be a turnover on downs, and it will now be St. Stephen's St. Agnes ball on their own 35.
Yeah, sophomore defensive back Blake Highlight was there initially to stop Forrest in his tracks, and looks like he's slipping off with a bit of an ankle sprain maybe. Imagine he'll play through it.
Yeah, we hope he's okay as the Saints defense is now back on the field. St. Stephen's has been playing superb. this quarter with about 35 seconds to go.
So a heavy set here for St. Agnes. Hill takes a snap, rolls out left.
He's just so quick. He can just get past you just in a blink of an eye. So you always got to be on your feet when you're guarding him.
So chewing the slot out right for St. Agnes. Hill will keep it up the middle and brought down by, looks like Joe Sullivan from behind after getting about 8.
Good tackle by Joe Sullivan to push off his offensive lineman and then latch on to Hill.
Second and 2 on St. Chris's 47. 13 seconds remaining in the first quarter here.
Yeah, I think they're just going to wait until the start of the second quarter to run another play.
They're running out to the huddle, but clearly no clock awareness as there's no time to call the play.
That will be the end of the first quarter. Saints up 7-0. We'll be right back with you for the start of the second quarter. Turn this off. So we are back with you all for the start of the second quarter. We have some stats for y'all today as Griffin Fair on the first quarter ran for 64 yards and a touchdown with only one rush. He passed 2 for 5 for 25 yards. His longest was 13 to Green.
Looks like St. Stephen St. Agnes has changed their quarterback. Looks like it was C.J. Shepherdson in there. Now they'll cycle him out and put in Tyson Hill again.
St. Stephen St. Agnes. It's doing the same thing the Saints are doing, switching between two quarterbacks as Gil Williamson is always had to play in the second half. We'll see how that goes.
3rd and 1. Hill will throw it across the middle, tipped by Hendrick, almost picked off.
That was a bullet pass.
Looks like that was Matt Grant almost picking it off. Nice breakup by Trent Hendrick. And you'd expect to see on 3rd and 1, you'd expect to see a run inside. They tried to fool the Saints defense, but Hendrick was all over it.
Yeah, Hendrick is really smart about reading plays. You can read what the quarterback's doing. The Saints linebacker core is just very strong, and they know what they're doing.
So 4th and 1 here. They'll hand it up the middle to Stort. Looks like he might have gotten it, not sure there. Saints sent all 11 towards the center there.
I don't think they got it.
So they're going to go ahead and measure, I think, but looks like they got a man down, injured for St. Stephen St. Agnes. That was Joe Sullivan there initially stopping him.
This is Joe Sullivan's second year at Varsity. So he's a veteran and he's very good. He's very quick off the line, so it's really tough for offensive linemen to contain him.
So they'll hand it up the middle to Cabanas. He'll bounce it out left. Good for about 10. They'll stop him around the 45-yard line. Nice 8-9 yard rush by Nikos Cabanas, sophomore running back.
Yeah, that was a great run on the outside. He saw nothing going in the middle, so he just took it on the outside, and that was great blocking by the receivers to get him some extra yards.
So Tazwell and Green out right. Fullback in for the Saints. They'll hand it to Cabanas. He'll bounce it outside. Good for the first down. Picks up another 5 yards there.
Yeah, he did the exact same thing they did on the last play. That was a smart read by Cabanas.
First and 10, 39-yard line. Cabanas still in the backfield. O'Farrell will scramble out right. Throw, pass complete to Reed Terry. He'll keep it. Tucks it short at the end there. Nice play, nice passing catch there. O'Farrell to Terry. And Terry doesn't shy away from contact. We just saw him tuck his shoulder there against Darius Wilson. Alongside, looks like Christian John Laurent. He's not afraid of getting hit.
Yeah, Terry just wasn't taking no for an answer. He just leveled his shoulder and just put it right in the chest of the defender and bulldozed over him. So that was a great play by Terry to gain a few extra yards.
Reed Terry is actually a rugby player outside of football, so he's got a nice background in terms of tackling and getting hit.
Yeah, rugby player is always tough, so Terry definitely knows what it's like to play in this league or to play this game. It's been there before. Saints running game has really been dominant on this drive. They haven't put it in the air yet. They've just kept on the ground, and it's clearly working for them. As St. Stephen St. Agnes has not found an answer.
So first and 10 for the Saints on St. Agnes's 27. So a hard count here from the Saints. No one's moving though, so O'Farrell will hand it off to Forrest outright. He bounces it outside. Tries to come back inside. They're trying to strip Forrest. He's not giving up though. Nice run there. Looks like maybe 8 or 9 yards. Might have been good for the first down actually.
Yeah, that was a great run by Forrest. It's always hard to bring Forrest down. It always takes about 6 defenders to bring him down. You always see a swarm of defenders trying to bring him down. He's just doesn't want to go down. He's a hard running back.
Yeah, Hayden's a very lean and built running back, and they were trying to hold him up and strip him there, but that's the last thing you're ever going to see from Hayden Forrest is him getting stripped. He's very strong and runs with just pure anger. O'Farrell will scramble out right, looking. He's eventually going to run out of bounds for a loss there. Loss of about 2.
Tazwell was open in the end zone, but O'Farrell's already took off before he saw Tazwell, so we'll bring up a loss.
it's a smart play from Farrell there because you've got a great kicker in Jack Sears, so there's no need to force one in the end zone and have a turnover here. You can get 3 points, so keeping
Exactly.
it there and losing 2 yards is about as good as you can get out of that play. He'll try in the end zone here for, looks like Wallace, and Walker Wallace brings it down. Touchdown Saints. Nice throw and catch, 17-yard pass from Griffin O'Farrell to Walker Wallace in the end zone. High points the ball and brings it down.
It's a great. That was my bad. That was my bad. That was a great toss by Farrell, just floating it over the middle to Wallace. He pulls it down for the touch. The extra point is good from Sewers as the Saints now lead 14-0 with about 9:20 left to go in the first half.
So 6 play, 54-yard drive there from the Saints. Impressive performance thus far from the offense and defense. Saints are executing on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, that was a very efficient possession for the Saints. They capitalized with a Wallace touchdown. Now it'll be St. St. Annie's turn to find the end zone and put some points on the board as they are still scoreless in this first half.
So out trots the St. Agnes offense. Looks like we got Brooks Council in as an edge rusher here. Tyson Hill throws out right, but receiver loses balance. That's Malcolm Johnson.
Yeah, sometimes they bring in, the St. Stephen brings in Brooks Council and George Hodgson as they're really quick off the edge and good pass rushers. Got a lot of speed to pressure the quarterback.
Stewart will motion out right. Tyson Hill will keep it up the middle. Nothing there. St. C line doing a great job today of stuffing that interior run.
They have to just really pushing the offensive lineman into the running back and then grabbing the running back to bring him down for only a short gain.
Third and about 8 here for St. Agnes. Hill drops back, throws over the middle, broken up by Mina Velea. Pass intended for Darius Wilson is incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Great play by Velea. If he had been there 2 steps faster, he would have had the ball in his hands and would have been running the other way.
So out trots Logue for St. Agnes. Disappointing drive there, only about 2 yards from St. Stephen St. Agnes. So they'll be punting. Back for the Saints is Hayden Forrest again. He'll catch this one. Cuts it back up towards the middle, loses balance, but still made a nice, it's like maybe 15-yard return there from Forrest. Flag down to the play.
We have 2 flags on the play on the opposite sides of the field. So it'll be interesting to see what these calls are. I didn't really see anything flag worthy on that play, but apparently the referees did.
Looks like a block in the back on the receiving team. So that'll hinder the Saints' starting field position, but nevertheless, they'll be starting out with pretty good ball position here.
Yeah, the Saints probably aren't too worried about that. I mean, their offense has been phenomenal far in this first half. I mean, Farrell has really just been lighting it up at quarterback. He's got a rushing touchdown. He also got a throwing touchdown. So, I mean, Farrell's just getting it done.
Farrell hands it the middle of Forrest. Breaks one initially. Looks like he broke about 3 tackles there. Refusing to go down. Gets about 8 yards there. Incredible effort from Hayden Forrest. Had to fight for every inch there.
That's what we were talking about earlier. I mean, he is just very hard to bring down. I mean, I would not want to get in the way of Hayden Forrest when he has the ball in his hands.
So the stoppage of play here. St. Stephen's St. Agnes will take a timeout. We'll take a break as well.
We are back with y'all with 7:21 left to go. First
Hendrick
half.
bounces one out right. Stiff arms. Number 11. Jay Frazier able to get about maybe 20 there. Impressive run from Trent Hendrick. That was a mean stiff arm on the defensive end.
Yeah, Trent Hendrick used that stiff arm very usefully as he just put that offender down.
Two-back set here for the Saints. Rivera will keep an option out right, but nothing there. Fumbles it, but actually goes out of bounds. So it looks like a fake handoff inside. They ran the read option out right, but
That was a dangerous play as the Saints almost.
actually wasn't a read option, it was a speed option. But holding on the Saints will bring that back regardless. So
Yeah, Farrell was lucky that he was close to the out of bounds as the ball was fumbled. He's lucky that the St. Stephen's St. Agnes defenders didn't recover that.
Fair will take the snap, looking over the middle for Tazwell, complete. Tackling by Darius Wilson. Nice throw and catch. So 2nd and 10 now for the Saints. Tazwell is a big guy to bring down, and Darius Wilson, who tackled him, is now hurt.
And that was a dart by Farrell. That was good throws. Tazwell just kind of just fell on
Such a
Wilson.
big kid that trying to bring him down can get yourself hurt.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We're back now. Darius Wilson is okay, able to walk out on his own power. So second and 10 for the Saints. Farrell takes a snap, handoff to Gavanis at the middle, but no blocking. Just not sure if that was great penetration or lack of blocking, but they were three St. Cincinnati defenders in the backfield before Gavanis even got the ball.
Yeah, the Saints line is it's not really doing enough blocking for the Saints running back. I mean, the running backs have been able to run on the outside, but not very much down the middle.
I think it was the left side of the line. That's Wickham and Teddy Bannister just completely broke down.
And there's some pretty big guys, so they should be able to do enough blocking up front.
Third and 13. Our Farrell scrambles out right. Throws a Terry complete, and that'll be good for the first down. There again is Reed Terry on. Looks like a similar play. They scramble out right and find Reed Terry on. Not sure if it's a wheel route or I missed where he started that off, but nice throw and catch there.
Hey, Reed Terry is really having himself a day. He's got 2 catches for about 15 yards each. So Reed Terry is really putting on a show today.
So Forrest in the backfield. Andre Green out by himself on the right. They'll hand it up in the middle. Not a lot of blocking, but Forrest is able to get about 1, if that.
Yes, Moore was in there in fullback. Saints are trying to get something going on the ground, but they still are just left empty on this possession.
Yeah, that's 6'4", 270-pound defensive tackle Julian Mosley there on the stop, and that could definitely be a challenge stopping him.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult. But I think the Saints have enough body and power on that O-line to stop him.
Run up the middle to Forrest, not going down. Breaks a tackle from Mike Vaughn. Able to get about maybe 4 there. Looks like they'll get him 6 on the carry. He fell forward. I believe that was Jeff Moore in for a second there on offense. They utilize him at fullback occasionally. So third and about 4 here for the Saints. Farrell snaps it, throws immediately out right to Wallace, and that's good for the first down.
Good catch and run by Wallace.
Yeah, coverage by Christian John Laurent, but at 5'8" and Wallace is 6'5", that's going to be a tough matchup all day.
Yeah. It's like Wallace is near the sideline or.
Looks like a timeout taken by head coach Lance Cleland here. They'll talk it over. We'll take a break. First and 10, O'Farrell. Pump fakes, keeps at the middle. Nice block from Wallace. He's able to get about 5 there. And a little slow to get up.
Yeah, Farrell's slow to get up. Something wrong with his left foot.
And it looks like he might be, I think he's just getting to play here. He'll play through it. It looks like, I believe it's his left ankle maybe.
Be a penalty on St. Stephen St. Agnes to the Saints. The football will be placed on their own 8-yard line, I believe. The Saints have great potential right here to score a touchdown.
That's good for another first down. Be first and goal from the 8-yard line here for St. Christopher's. Andre Green out by himself. It'll be hand up the middle to Hayden Forrest. Flag on the play. Wasn't able to get much there. Tackled around the 4-yard line.
That penalty will be on the Saints, as they'll back them up now.
So it looks like first and goal from 21-yard line. Not ideal, but could definitely see the Saints getting the end zone again. O'Farrell drops back, throws intended for Nigel Green, but overthrown. That's what they were looking for there. Nigel Green was open and just a little bit out of his reach. But that's a hard throw to make off your back foot there.
Yeah, that was a good play. It's just they couldn't convert as the throw was just outside Green's reach. See if they can do something similar to that on this play and hopefully convert.
Could definitely see the Saints going to Andre Green here. He's been quiet today, hasn't seen many targets, but he's got incredible jump ball capability. They'll hand it off to Forrest. He's swallowed up immediately by Irvine Madanga again at 265. Not much going there for the Saints O-line in the second quarter.
Yeah, he just snuck past the lineman and met Forrest the line of scrimmage. As Forrest is frustrated as he walks over to the sideline.
So there that was. I mentioned earlier that they could be going towards Andre Green in the end zone. That was the shot there, but Saints wanting a pass interference call. It was kind of a back shoulder fade corner of the end zone. So out trots Jack Sears for the attempt. Looks like it'll be a 34-yarder about. Kick from Sears is up. And no good. Pushed it just right. It's pretty close there. A 34-yarder in high school football is no gimme either.
It's a tough field goal to make. Turn this off.
So Hill will take the snap, throws out right immediately. Pass intent for Malcolm Johnson, hits him right in the hands, but it's dropped. I've been disappointed thus far about Johnson. I've heard he's got offers from top 10 schools like Michigan and Ohio State, Penn State, but I've seen more than a couple drops today, and the Saints have shut him down.
Yeah, Johnson just hasn't been playing up to his ability today. I don't know why, but he just hasn't been putting up the numbers that he usually does.
So 4 wide receivers set for the Saints here. They'll try deep on a Vail Aya, and looks like that was number 6.
That's Johnson.
Excuse me, number 5. So right as I criticize him, he burns me and Vail Aya deep for a huge gain.
Just proved us wrong.
Proved me wrong, at least. So it'll be 1st and 10 now on St. Christopher's 45.
That was a good over-the-shoulder pass to Johnson. Savale was just a little behind him and just enough room for Johnson to catch it.
We'll be passing again. Hayden Forrest on the rush. Big-time hit. Hayden Forrest came screaming around the edge and breaks down Tyson Hill in the backfield. That's a great sack from Hayden Forrest. Looks like he gets maybe 9 yards on that sack. He came screaming around the right side of the line at that outside linebacker position, and that's incredible speed and incredible pursuit from Hayden Forrest.
Yeah, he just came off just like a flash. I mean, that was ridiculous. The quarterback had no time to react as Forrest just put him on the turf.
So 2nd and 18 now for St. Agnes. They'll throw over the middle. Matt Grant almost picked that off. Didn't see it soon enough and ends up just deflecting it. So 3rd and 19 now for St. Agnes.
Yeah, Hill's throwing these dart short passes that are hard for the defenders to see as it just comes straight at you and you barely have time to react.
So 4 wide receiver set again. Hill bobbles the snap, picks it up, throws across the middle, intended for Malcolm Johnson. It's intercepted, but 2 flags down. I believe that's maybe pass interference on, I think it was maybe Cavanis in coverage on Johnson. Looks like it might have been Matt Grant on the coverage, and then Cavanis picked it off after the deflection. But I imagine this is going to be a 1st down for St. Agnes.
Yeah, so it looked like a good play for the Saints. May have just brought St. Stephen's to a 1st down.
Actually, it won't be a 1st down. It'll be about 2 yards short, 3 yards short. Hill will throw left, intended for Blake Highlight. It's Teddy Daniard on the coverage with safety help from Matt Grant.
That was a good play by Damgard. Stand with the receiver, not let him any room for a catch, as that was a great play by Damgard and Grant.
So 4th down territory for St. Agnes here. 4th and about 3. Play clock is at 10. Tyson Hill rolls out right, throws it tipped to the line of scrimmage, and that's an incomplete. Turnover on downs. Great effort from the Saints defense here, despite the initial bomb to Malcolm Johnson.
The Saints defense really responded well with that pass caught by Johnson. As St. Stephen's looked like they had something special on this drive. The Saints stopped them on 4th down for a turnover on downs, and now the Saints get a chance with about 45 seconds left.
So it had the accidental clock start. So we'll have to reset it back to, I believe, 45 seconds.
Yeah.
That's 4. He has 4 minutes 50 seconds.
He's got it. He's got it. It's like Gil Williamson at quarterback. Throws deep, intended for Tazewell, complete. Push out of bounds at the 35-yard line by Christian John Laurent. It's a nice throw and catch. Gil's first pass of the game is a lengthy one to Tazewell.
Yeah, that was a great pass. He's barely snuck it over the DB's head and fell right into the hands of Tazewell, and that was just a great throw and catch by Williamson to Tazewell.
So 36 seconds remaining. Williamson drops back, tries deep again to Andre Green this time. And a lot of contact. That'll be pass interference on Christian John Laurent. The Saints will have great field position after this one.
Yes, John Laurent was just all over Green. Now give the Saints great yardage again with about 28.7 seconds to go in the half.
Remember that? Remember the super fan? All green. That's so funny.
Williamson drops back, looking for Nigel Green. Nothing there. Overthrown and out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a dangerous throw. He had two St. Stephen St. Agnes defenders on him. That was just a little high for either of them.
The key here for the Saints will be not turning it over and trying a field goal from Jack Stevers. You're on the 21, so that's a 38-yarder, and he's definitely capable of making that.
Definitely. Yeah, Gil Williamson needs to be smart here with his passes, not throwing in any tight coverage.
A rollout right, pass complete to Wallace for maybe 2 or 3, but gets out of bounds and stops the clock.
So it brings up 3rd and 9 for the Saints. See if they can convert here. About 18.5 seconds left.
.18 seconds remaining. Williamson drops back. Quick throw to Tazewell. Incredible catch. That is one of the best catches I've ever seen. Will Tazewell just reach behind him. It was a slant route. Reach behind him. The throw is behind him. One-hand catch. Brings it in. You will never see another catch like that in your life.
That was ridiculous.
And as incredible as that was, it doesn't surprise me that Tazewell's the guy that brings that one. He's got incredible hands. He's been on the team since sophomore year. He's developed into an incredible athlete, and that is just as good as it gets. That's got to be Sports Center top 10 type material.
That was just out of this world.
I can't believe he brought that in. The throw is behind him, and while running, reached behind him with his right hand and just picked it out of the air.
Wow. I mean, last week we had Andre Green with his one-handed catch, and this week we have, well, Tazewell with another unbelievable catch. I mean, the Saints wide receivers are just amazing.
So Tazewell wasn't able to get in, but he gets it to just about the 1 yard line. Incredible effort. So 11 seconds remaining. They'll hand it off to, looks like it was Trent Hendrick. He'll dive over the top. Touchdown Saints. They'll be up 20 now with 6.5 seconds remaining in the first half.
Yeah, that was just a great drive by the Saints. In 3rd and 9. And then Tazwell makes that unbelievable catch, and then Hendrick just goes in the end zone. Now the Saints are up 20-0.
Tazwell really did it all. He had the initial, looked like a 40-yard catch off the scramble from Williamson, put him in position, and then gets that nice one-hander off the slant to set him up the 1 yard line, eventually punched in by Trent Hendrick.
Tazwell just really came alive on that drive.
This is a different, entirely different Saints team from what we saw last week.
I think the Saints team were just a little nervous the first game, plus the first game. I mean, you're still trying to figure a lot of things out. And I think the Saints have really figured most of those problems out. And that's why they're ahead 21-0 leading into the half.
So Sears will line up to kick this one off. Only 6.5 seconds remaining in the first half here for the Saints. He'll put this one through the end zone. And I imagine St. Agnes will probably just take a knee here and end the bleeding. This has been a rough first half for them.
It really has. I mean, they really haven't found an answer to the Saints' run game or pass game. I mean, it's just really hard to contain the Saints' offense right now when they get going. So let's see if the St. Agnes defense and offense can get going in the second half.
And Hill will just take a knee here. So that'll do it here, 21-0. Impressive performance from the Saints on both sides of the ball. We'll be back for the second half. We're almost ready for the second half of St. Christopher's versus St. Stephen St. Agnes. Enjoy these highlights from last week.
Actually going to throw out of the end zone.
Deep to
Double coverage.
Matt
Intercepted by
Grant.
Matt Grant. What a play.
Titans throws deep to number 11. Trey
Matt
Ferguson,
Grant,
and
a
it's
sophomore,
intercepted
one
by
of the very
Saints.
few sophomores on the team this year.
yeah, that was
And Walker Wallace,
together.
yeah.
So trips out left.
Williamson's going to roll out to his left.
And
And it looks like it was caught by Walker Wallace. It was. It was batted down by number 2.
that one was
Saints,
picked
Walker
off.
Wallace.
I think the Trinity defender might have actually caught that initially, or at least batted it down, and Wallace ripped it out of him.
Smith.
He'll go in motion.
He's a
Short.
bubble screen
Chris
pass.
Thomas.
Intercepted there.
Thomas.
That's number 3, Chris Thomas.
Pass bobbled by number 8, Dre Bailey, and scooped up for an interception in the air by number 3, Christian Thomas.
I mean, play action. Looking out his right, finds Nigel Green wide open. Makes the catch. Flow was a little bit off to the right. Finds Andre wide open. Throws it open.
Saints lead 21-zip. Sears will kick it off here, and he'll put this one through the end zone as he's done all game. So quick statistics from the first half. Griffin O'Farrell at quarterback led in rushing. He had 3 rushes for 69 yards, average of 21.3. His longest was that 64-yard rush we saw initially on that first drive. Will Taswell led in receiving with 4 catches for 72 yards. For St. Agnes, Malcolm Johnson led in receiving, 3 catches, 47 yards. And Jack Sears only had 1 punt, but 1 for 52. It was a boomer.
Yeah, the Saints are really putting up good stats in the first quarter. Let's see if they can keep doing that here in the second.
Handoff to Stort. That's looked like Jeff Moore and Hayden Forrest brought him down there. So second and about 7 now for St. Agnes. It'll be interesting to see what adjustments they make offensively to try to crack the Saints defense. It looks like they got Malcolm Johnson out left side now against Teddy Damgard. Could be going his direction this play. Tyson Hill will roll right, and nothing there. He throws it out of bounds to avoid the sack there.
Yeah, I think St. Stephen St. Agnes is going to have to get their running game and throwing game up. I mean, first half, they really didn't do anything on the field and in the air, so let's see how they adjust to do better in the second half.
Third and 6. Send their tight end in motion. Throw across the middle intended for Johnson is incomplete. That's Damgard in coverage. So quick 3 and out here from St. Agnes. That's what we've seen all game though.
Yeah, it's nothing special. I mean, St. Stephen St. Agnes just really hasn't put anything together on any drives. I mean, they've gotten a couple good drives, but then the Saints just stopped them on 4th down, turned everyone down. So I mean, I don't really understand what they're going to do differently. I mean, the Saints defense is just very tough to get past.
So it'll be Logue again. We've seen him a lot today for the punt. Almost got back there was Joe Brennan. Forrest will field it, and he's going to break this one loose along the left side, and there's a flag. Hayden Forrest just returned that all the way untouched, and a late flag came in around the 20-yard line. Looks like this one's going to be coming back.
Saints fans aren't too happy about that one.
Looks like they're going to call a chop block on the Saints. I didn't see it. Most didn't see it either, so that's a. They might have just called holding and a chop block, so. So it's in sportsmanlike conduct and holding on the Saints. Negates Hayden Forrest about 60-yard punt return.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing. I mean, Forrest, that was a great punt return. I mean, he really fought hard on that sideline, and then just about the 10-yard line, the ref threw the flag, and then Forrest just wasn't very happy about it. So that's why he got the unsportsmanlike conduct.
And head coach Lance Collin is still talking to the referee. He's just not seeing it.
I mean, I didn't see anything either on that play, but apparently the refs did, and Hayden Forrest and the Saints aren't too happy about that. I feel like Hayden Forrest is now going to play with a little bit of vengeance, trying to get that touchdown back.
Looks like Collins changing the play. Farrell moves Forrest behind him. Terry comes in motion, and bit of a collision there. That one went on the ground. Hayden Forrest was able to, looks like, no, fumbled it. So a lot of confusion on that play. They moved Hayden Forrest around. They weren't clear on the handoff, and that one's bobbled and fumbled, recovered by number 52. That's Mike Vaughn from St. Stephen St. Agnes. So 2 successive unfortunate plays for the Saints. We'll see how they bounce back on defense.
Yeah, I mean, Griffin O'Farrell and Hayden Forrest fumbled on a handoff last week against Trinity, and they just fumbled here today. So they gotta clean up that handoff. I don't think they're on the same page on that one.
So great starting field position for St. Agnes. We'll see what they do with it. I form. They'll hand it off to Stort, but brought down immediately by Jeff Moore. The ball came out actually too, but they're going to whistle him down. Great penetration from Moore there. Gets back there immediately to stop Stort in his tracks.
Yeah, Moore and Sullivan really came up big on that play.
So 2nd and 12 now from the St. Christopher's 48-yard line. They'll send Fisher in motion. Hill throws complete to Johnson for about 8.
Yeah, and Hayden Forrest is coming quick off that line. He just moved number 4, Lauron Stewart, out of the way, and almost got to Hill, but wasn't there quick enough.
3rd and 5 now for St. Stephen St. Agnes. Johnson is isolated by himself outright. He will take it under center, throw a screen pass to the left side here. That's Blake Highlight, gets good yardage there, eventually brought down. Looked like Matt Grant.
I think that's what St. Stephen St. Agnes needed, a good play to hype up the team. And that was just a great screen pass.
So 1st and 10 now. Hill hands it off to Stewart up the middle. And not sure who got there. Jeff Moore and Hayden Forrest looks like brought him down. Moore's gonna have to come out. He lost his helmet there. So Brooks Council will fill in. Actually, they'll put George Hodgson instead of Brooks Council in. Second and 7. Hill drops back, steps up in the pocket, but looks like Joe Sullivan's back there. He'll bring him down alongside Filer. But ultimately, Joe Sullivan led the charge there and brings down Tyson Hill in the backfield. That's a big time sack on 2nd down.
It's a great job by Joe Sullivan coming off the edge. Offensive lineman wasn't ready, and he just got to the quarterback very quickly. And then Filer and Hodgson came to join him.
They're in about 12 now. Hill scrambles out left, looking for Johnson. Almost intercepted by Matt Grant. Great coverage there, broke on the football, and deflects the pass intended for Malcolm Johnson.
Yeah, Matt Grant does a really good job on reading Hill's eyes. I mean, he's really been on point with the coverage, and he's almost gotten away with a few interceptions, but unfortunately came up short.
And he had one last week against Trinity. Trinity's quarterback threw in a double coverage. Damgard was there as well, and Matt Grant was able to pick that one off. And we've seen 2 or 3 today where he's almost pulled him in.
And Matt Graham is doing a really good job covering.
Tyson Hill throws deep over the middle, but broken up by Mina Valea. And Luke Fisher is slow to get up. Nice hit from Mina Valea. So turnover on downs, and the Saints offense will take over now. O'Farrell will remain at the helm. It was interesting that with 45 seconds left in the 2nd quarter, they put in Williamson for a drive just out of nowhere, and he was able to execute a really nice drive there.
Yeah, I think they put him in because they could get a lot more yardage on the air with the pass, and Williamson is a better passer than O'Farrell is, but I think they keep O'Farrell in for the majority because he's a good scrambler and he can also throw, so he's like a dual threat, and he can really fool the defense on what he does.
Right. Hendrick bounced that one out right for about 3 yards, tackled away by number 22, Drew Pascal. 2nd and 7 now. Nigel Green out by himself. Reed Terry comes in motion, handoff up the middle to Hendrick. He's swallowed up though. That's 265-pound defensive tackle Irvine Madanga there on the stop. So 3rd and 6 for the St. Christopher's offense.
And St. Stephen St. Agnes defense has been doing a better job than they have all game on this drive right here.
Farrell takes a snap and rolls out left immediately. Looks like he's going to try to tuck it here, but he's brought down. Looks like that was maybe number 10, Howard, on the tackle. So unable to escape the grasp of Howard, and the Saints will punt. receivers almost had that one blocked, but he gets it away. On the return is Luke Fisher. And unable to get him is the Saints special teams, but eventually, looks like it was maybe Zach Kersner actually made the tackle.
Yeah, Zach Kersner tripped him up a little bit.
So St. Stephen St. Agnes will start off on their own 36 now. It's been an uneventful second half.
Yeah, no, either teams haven't really gotten any momentum or big plays on their side. So let's see if
And up the
either
middle.
team can get it going.
That was Laurent Stewart on the carry. I believe Hayden Forrest might have come in from the outside there and just smacked Stewart.
Yeah, Hayden Forrest is he's playing very well today. He's getting it done on both sides of the ball.
It's exhausting playing
Yeah.
linebacker and running back. You've got to have a high motor, as they say. And Hayden Forrest definitely does. Here he is on the rush again. Tyson Hill is hit, but completes the pass to Malcolm Johnson. That's Chris Thomas in coverage. And that'll be a St. Stephen St. Agnes touchdown. The Saints brought two off the edge. I believe it was Moore and Forrest. Laurent Stewart picked up Forrest, and Jeff Moore punished Tyson Hill, but not before Hill was able to get the ball loose to Malcolm Johnson, who beat Chris Thomas on the right side of the field for what was probably about a 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I didn't think Hill was going to be able to get that pass off in time as Moore was coming off the line strong, but he did, and that was just a great toss to Johnson.
So on for the extra point will be Tyler Logue to shorten the Saints' lead to 14. And kick is blocked. Not sure who got there. I believe it might have been Hayden Forrest. I think it was. So he's doing it on offense, defense, and special teams today. He's all around the ball. He's got a nose for the football. High motor guy. Blocks the PAT. So it'll be 21-6 here now with 4:44 remaining in the third quarter.
And he is just an athlete. I mean, there are not many people like him who could get it done on defense, offense, and special teams. So he's special.
So after that 64-yard touchdown from St. Agnes wide receiver Malcolm Johnson, he's now at 5 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown. He's having a day.
He is. I mean, he got up to a little bit of a slow start. We were wondering when he was going to get going, and he certainly has got going. I mean, he has really proven himself today. Chris Thomas is really going to have to step up his game if he wants to contain Johnson from getting in more big plays.
So Lug will kick this one away. Back deep for the Saints is Hayden Forrest. He fumbles this one, able to pick it up. Looks like the tackle was made by number 21, Tyler Jones. So we're yet to see much from the Saints offense. We saw Hayden Forrest return on special teams, but they've been quiet in the second half so far. And a lot of miscommunication. We saw that fumbled snap earlier.
Yeah, see if the Saints can all get on the same page this drive and maybe put some points on the board first of the second half.
Snap to Farrell, they'll hand it off to Hendrick up the middle. brought down by Vaughn. Hendrick's run is good for 2. He'll have to come out. His helmet came off there. Looks like they'll put in Cavanas to replace Hendrick. And the Saints aren't worried about getting to the line quickly here. They've got some clock to kill, and keeping it on the ground is a good thing here.
Yeah, I think the Saints aren't really worried about anything. They're just trying to maintain their offense out there and get as many drives as they can on offense and wear out the St. Stephen St. Agnes defense.
It's about an 8-yard rush there from Nikos Cavanas. Isaiah Frazier on the tackle.
Yeah, so the Saints are still getting a couple good runs in, but for the most part, this St. Stephen St. Agnes defense has been doing a good job this second half containing the run game and especially the throwing game. Saints really haven't thrown any passes this second half.
Wow. Complete lack of blocking. Paloma Howard just got back there immediately before Cavanas even had the ball. He got hit. Surprised he's able to hang on there. So 4th and 3 now inside their own 35-yard line. Saints are going to punt here.
Yeah, St. Stephen St. Agnes defense is playing more physical than they were in the first half. I think they got a good pep talk during halftime, and they're fired up now.
Nice kick from Sears. Fisher's back to return. Makes one miss, but Hodgson's there to bring him down. And we haven't seen much of Hodgson today, but there he is. He's a great special teamer, arguably the best special teamer on the Saints.
Yeah, he's really good. I mean, he's really dangerous when he just runs in that open field. He can tackle you at any moment. He's really versatile, so he can move quickly, and it's really hard to get past him.
So we'll throw out right to Johnson. That's going to be a face mask penalty on, I believe it was Mian of L.A. Tyson Hill threw a nice screen out to Malcolm Johnson, complete for about 12. That face mask is an attack on an extra 15, though.
Yeah, so Johnson really coming alive in this third quarter. I mean, first he gets the touchdown, and now goes for a 12-yard gain plus. They can only bring him down by his face mask. So that's another 15. So Johnson is really doing well for this team.
First and 10 on St. Christopher's 32-yard line. They'll hand it off to Stewart at the middle. And once again, it's swallowed up. Looked like it was Caleb Bay back there initially. We've seen St. Stephen St. Agnes attempt to generate some inside run game, but to no avail.
Yeah, but I mean the Saints line up front is just very athletic. I mean, you got Caleb Bay who can clog holes. You got Joe Sullivan who comes off the line very quickly, and you got Hank File on the other side who's just a monster. So I mean, it's really to get running down the middle. So that's why I think they've had more success running it on the outside.
Tyson Hill drops back, throws left, pass intended for. Looks like it'll be incomplete. Pass intended for Blake Highlight, was defended by
Matt Grant again, who almost came up with the interception.
I thought it was picked off initially.
Yeah, I think it hit the ground and then came back up in his hands.
So 3rd and 11 now for St. Agnes. Chris Thomas is out on Malcolm Johnson. They'll throw over the middle. And a little bit of contact, but Luke Fisher's not going to get that call. 4th down. So Logue will punt this one away.
That was a whiff.
Very short punt, but ultimately going to pin the Saints inside the 10-yard line, so it did the job. I would have thought that we would have seen St. Agnes go for it. I mean, punting from the 33-yard line is not something you see very often, and it's really fourth down territory when you're down by 15.
Yeah, I mean, they were in that situation in the first half, and they went for it. So I don't know. I think they wanted to just spice it up. I mean, the Saints they want to get the Saints back on their side of the field as far as they can. I mean, the Saints are really dangerous. Their offense is really clicking right now. So I mean, I think you get them as far back as possible.
So 1st and 10 from their own 10. Farrell takes the snap, rolls out right, looking for Tazwell, and he brings it in. That's Malcolm Johnson on the coverage, but Tazwell's able to secure the catch. Nice throw and catch there from Farrell to Tazwell, and that'll move the chains.
And that was another ridiculous catch by Tazwell. I mean, he's really gone off today. I mean, he is just a spectacular receiver. And he's committed to U of R for lacrosse, but I mean, football isn't looking too bad either.
So Nigel Green is out to the left. A lot of room out there. But Farrell throws short to Reed Terry. We've seen that a lot today. It's good for about 6 yards there. That's Tyler Jones in the tackle. So 2nd and 4 now. They'll hand it off the middle to Hendrick. Good for about 2.
Yeah, Saints run game still isn't able to get anything going. So that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. Saints still up 21-6. I'll be right back with you for the start of the 4th. We are back with you here for the start of the 4th quarter, and fumbled, and people say St. Stephen St. Agnes may have come up with the ball, and that is the case. And now it's Cavanis who coughed it up. So just what looked like to be a promising drive for the Saints turns the other way as Cavanis fumbled it, and the St. Stephen St. Agnes defense recovered.
It's a great field position here for St. Agnes on St. Christopher's 38-yard line. I form, play action, pass complete, outright to Drew Pascal and a mean stiff arm. Unable to bring him down was Chris Thomas. He's slow to get up. That was a good play design. They ran I form in a heavy set, but ultimately Drew Pascal was able to escape outright for a little drag route and gets a nice gain there.
Yeah, Chris Thomas just lost him a little bit. Wasn't able to bring him down. Got a few extra yards after that.
It looks like Chris Thomas is going to come out for a play or two. He might be injured here. And spelling Chris Thomas will be number 18. Looks like Ryan Dugan in there at corner.
Ryan Dugan is also a terrific athlete. First year on varsity. He's very good at cornerback, so wide receivers may have a tough time.
Looks like they'll pull him out now. And they'll transition Matt Grant to corner to replace Thomas, and they'll put Brooks Council back at safety to replace Grant. Saints will rush, throw out left is overthrown. Coverage there by Vale. A pass intended for Luke Fisher. Tyson Hill takes a snap, rolls out left, looking, and pass intended for Fisher. Fisher tripped up, but that throw is uncatchable. So it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, may have been a flag if that throw was catchable, but it was not, so there was no flag. And now bring up 4th down for St. Stephen's, St. Agnes.
So 4th and about 15 here for St. Agnes. And now they'll decide to go for it. It's Howard in the backfield with Hill. He'll take the snap and roll out left. Hayden Forrest is back there immediately. Sacked down. Incredible rush off the edge by Hayden Forrest. Turnover on downs. We've seen him all day today, and there he is once again, stopping and halting the St. Stephen St. Agnes offense in its tracks.
I mean, there is just no stopping Hayden Forrest. I mean, once he gets going, it is just very hard to stop him. We might as well just get out of his way.
And Hayden Forrest rushing him off the edge like that is something Coach Toon had planned for this St. Stephen St. Agnes game. He had been doing it in practice, and we've seen it a lot today. We've seen more and more so Hayden Forrest more times than not off the edge. He's been incredible.
I know. I mean, linebacker core for St. Chris, I mean, Moore and Forrest are just two of the best athletes in the area. I mean, it's just very hard to get past them.
And Hayden's now cramping on the sideline, as I imagine you would be if you're playing as much as he did. So false start on the Saints will push him back 5 here. So 1st and 15. Looks like Chris Thomas is now out of his pads and wrapping his right shoulder in ice. So that'll be it from Chris Thomas today. And it sounds like Brooks Council will be replacing him. Rather, Matt Grant will be replacing him, and Brooks Council will be moving to safety.
Yeah, it looks like Chris Thomas, I mean, he had that shoulder pad on his right shoulder under his pads. Looks like he might have re-injured something in his shoulder area, so let's hope he's okay.
So Cavanis in the backfield. O'Farrell will take the snap, roll right. Pass intended for Tazewell was way low, almost intercepted by Luke Fisher.
Dangerous pass by Farrell.
And this Saints offense feels like it's just slowed down tremendously in the second half. We've not seen much production. I mean, in the first half, they had a total 268 yards, and I feel like in the second half, we've seen probably no more than 40.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on, but Saints just don't have that much firepower as they did in the first half. I mean, they were just insane in the first half. Just no one could stop them. I feel like that might be a different story here in the second half.
Farrell's looking for Tazewell along the right sideline, and there he is again. Once again, Will Tazewell brings it in
My gosh.
over number 21. That's Tyler Jones. It's just unbelievable today from Will Tazewell. It's everything they've thrown his direction, he's caught. He went over Tyler Jones to bring that one in. You put it within a 5-yard vicinity, and Tazewell's going to come down with it.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just not even guard him. I mean, he is just going off today. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And at 6'5", Tazewell has just been dominating the St. Stephen St. Agnes secondary today. And Tyler Jones is about as tall as it gets for a coverage there. He's 6'3", but just not enough. This one's complete to Walker Rawls for about 5. Brought down by David Hicklin. So with that last catch from Tazewell, he's now at 6 receptions for 118 yards.
And he's having a great game today.
Farrell will complete that one, and there he is again. Will Tazewell spin moving, and Christian John Laurent misses him and brought down eventually, but not before Tazewell is able to achieve the first down there.
I mean, he was doing everything today. I mean, he's just lighting it up.
So they'll hand this one off the middle to Forrest,
Oh
and
my gosh.
incredible push. It looks like Teddy Bannister was from behind him, able to get about 8 or 9 there. Looks like he was down after about 3, but able to get an extra 5 after the push from Teddy Bannister.
That was a great play by Teddy Bannister, not giving up on the play and pushing Forrest for a gain of 5 or more yards.
So it looks like they've pulled out Tazewell now. He'll take a break. He's done enough today.
Yeah, he's done enough damage to the St. Stephen St. Agnes defense.
Low snap, but Farrell's able to grab it. Quick release to not
To
sure who that-
Moore.
Yeah, Jeff Moore. Not sure if he was a tight end or fullback there, but I believe that would be Jeff's first reception of the season.
Believe it is. I mean, Moore can either play linebacker on defense or tight end and fullback on offense. He's a very good athlete. He's also coming to VMI for lacrosse. Plays face off.
So there he is again. They've got Moore in at tight end. And he'll go out for a pass, but they'll throw it out shallow to Forrest. They'll break this one outside left and eventually push out of bounds, but not before he gets a solid gain. Lamumba Howard on the tackle.
Yeah, Forrest's speed is just unmatched. I mean, once he gets going, I mean, it's very hard to stop him. You got to be quick.
So they'll hand this one off to Hendrick, and he'll get into the end zone untouched. Great blocking from the Saints and great patience from Hendrick. That'll push the lead to 21 now, pending Jack Seawer's extra point.
Yeah, Saints really did a nice job blocking, making a hole for Hendrick on that one. Saints scored their first points of the second half with about 7:22 to go in the fourth quarter.
So that's a 9-play, 67-yard drive that resulted in a Trent Hendrick touchdown. And the kick from Sears is good. So that'll push the lead to 22 now with 7:22 remaining in the fourth quarter.
I think Saints are pretty happy with their performance today. I mean, they've really been on the ball. Everybody's been playing well. It's just been a great day for the Saints. I mean, I think they were less disappointed after that Trinity game because I think they thought they should have won that game, and so I think they brought some of that anger into this game, and they have played exceptionally well today.
Sears once again puts that one through the end zone. So St. Agnes will start off on their own 20 here.
Yeah, St. Stephen, St. Agnes looked like they had something going after that Johnson touchdown, but the Saints, they responded, touchdown of their own. So I think St. Stephen, St. Agnes, I think they'll keep trying, but I don't think that the spark is still there that they had at the beginning of the second half.
They'll send Pascal in motion. Hand off to Stewart. He's able to get about 5 or 6 there. Forks out of bound by Jeff Moore. So after a illegal procedure on St. Agnes, that'll push him back 5. So 1st and 15 now. Run out left, swallowed him immediately. Looks like Damgard was there, and the ball might have come out. I think Damgard got on it.
That'll be Saints ball.
Not sure. Looks like Brooks Council had it last, but I believe there might have been someone else that got on it first. Nevertheless, the Saints will take over and St. Agnes own 20.
That's great field position for the Saints with 7 minutes to go.
So Farrell will take the snap and play is blown dead. Looks like there will be a penalty here. I believe Andre Green didn't have his mouthpiece in, so they're going to send him off and they'll put Harwell Harrison in instead.
Is that a rule? If you don't have your mouthpiece in?
I believe so. Any safety equipment like helmets, mouthpieces. Farrell will scramble out left, looking, throws to the end zone. It's caught by Walker Wallace in the end zone for a touchdown. Incredible throw and catch. That was thrown across Griffin O'Farrell's body. He was running left, going right, and finds Wallace in the back of the end zone. So it just further increases St. Christopher's lead. And on for the extra point will be Jack Sewers now.
And that's Wallace's second touchdown of the day. Good job by Farrell to find Wallace in the back of the end zone for 6.
Extra point from Sewers is good. So it'll be 35-6 now. Saints up 29 with 7 minutes to go. It's been an impressive performance today.
It has. I mean, the Saints have been doing it on both sides of the ball. I mean, their defense has just been exceptional. Only allowing 6 points. And their offense has been really connecting. Wide receivers, running backs, offensive line. I mean, they've been doing it all today. So just overall, a great performance by the Saints.
So as you mentioned, that was Wallace's second touchdown. We've seen Hendrick with 2, Wallace with 2, and O'Farrell with 1.
Yeah, so the Saints are just looking unstoppable today.
And I know Tazwell definitely wants to get in the end zone. He had that incredible one-handed catch in the first half and reached for the end zone, but was short by just a few inches.
Yeah, but overall, I think either Hayden Forrest or Will Tazwell has been the MVP today. I mean, they've just played exceptionally well, and they've really led this team.
So I believe you're going to have to re-kick here. I think, remember, the kicking team was in front of Sewers when the ball was kicked, so. They'll have to kick this one again, but back 5 this time. So a little pooch kick here from Sewers, kicks it to Luke Fisher. He'll try to bring this one close side of the field, cuts it back left. Nice return from Luke Fisher. Eventually brought down around the 46.
I think Evan Thompson got there first, number 24.
So 1st and 10 from their own 46. St. Stephen's St. Agnes will try to generate some offense. Tyson Hill throws immediately out left, but too shallow for Luke Fisher.
Yeah, he got that out very quickly and just a little low, and I don't think Fisher was ready.
And I do see Gil Williamson and Rollins Thompson throwing on the sideline, so we could potentially see a change at quarterback. I would say that Griffin O'Farrell has definitely done the job today.
He has. I mean, he's thrown 3 touchdowns and ran for 1. So I don't think there's much more you can do than that.
Pass is incomplete, broken up by Teddy Damgard, I believe. So 2nd and 10. Stort in the backfield. Looks like Fisher in the slot. Tyson Hill would throw a screen to Stort. And couldn't see who it was.
Brought down by Moore.
Yep, Jeff Moore. And second time we've seen that screen today, and both times Jeff Moore has been able to sniff it out. He's got great awareness and great play recognition as a middle linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, Hill's been forced to throw it out quickly because Hayden Forrest and Sullivan are just coming off the edge so quickly. And then the receiver, whoever catches that, is just met immediately by Moore. So, I mean, that play is just doesn't really work against the Saints defense.
So 4th and 9 now on their own 47. St. Stephen St. Agnes is forced to go for it. Tyson Hill drops back. Great pressure from the Saints. Finds Luke Fisher on the right side. Just burned Mina Valea and Matt Grant. Not sure if that was zone and they were playing a flat, but there was a lot of room for Luke Fisher to make that catch.
Yeah, someone to do their job. And Fisher cut back on Matt Grant for a good gain.
It could have been cover too. They could have found the seam there. Not sure, but nevertheless, it's a nice throw and catch from Hill to Fisher. Good for about 30. Or about 25.
That was a good play from St. Stephen St. Agnes.
Hill will roll left and eventually brought down by Hank Filer. That'll be a sack. Tyson Hill has not had a lot of time today. He's been under pressure just about every play he drops back. That's got to be frustrating because he's a very talented quarterback, but he hasn't had much help from his line today.
I know his line just hasn't been blocking for him like they should. I mean, they've been doing a good job, but the Saints D-line is just too much for them to handle. So most of the plays has just been able to force it quick and not getting the shots, not getting the throws that he wants.
So 2nd and about 15 after Hank Fowler's sack. Tyson Hill throws in the middle, and it's intercepted by Trent Hendrick. The inside linebacker running back combo. So what's been a nightmare all day is just getting worse for St. Stephen St. Agnes.
And that was a great read by Hendrick. Just stood there in the middle. Quarterback didn't see him, and he just popped up and caught that interception.
Trent Hendrick is now sporting the turnover belt on the sideline.
Nice little celebration from Hendrick and Grant.
He's been great today. He's got 2 touchdowns, I believe around 45 yards on the ground or so, and now an interception.
Yeah, he, like Forrest, is also getting done on both sides of the ball. He's got 2 touchdowns, now an interception. So he's been playing great.
So I believe that's the first time we've seen the turnover belt, which I believe is a reference to Miami's turnover chain.
Yeah, that's the thing Council wore today after he recovered the fumble. So turnover belt really does excite the defensive players.
So in at quarterback now is, I believe, Gil Williamson.
And now Evan Thompson, number 24, is also at running back.
Evan Thompson is also the scout team running back during practice week. So that's a hard position to play because you take a lot of hits and don't get a lot of credit for it.
Yeah, he's definitely a talented athlete, also a good basketball player and baseball player. His brother was captain of the basketball team a couple years back.
So Williamson will roll out left, looking, nothing there. Just going to tuck this one away. Wrapped around the neck there. No penalty. Tyler Jones there in the tackle. Got Williamson around the neck, but no call.
That was a little dangerous tackle. But it's legal.
So 3rd and 6 now for the Saints offense. And new wide receivers as well. Looks like Harwell Harrison is out wide. Looking for Andre Green across the middle. That's got to be pass interference, and there it comes in late. Not sure how the initial ref there was standing right there and missed the call, but fortunately, someone 20 yards away was able to see that one. So Andre Green hasn't statistically had a great day, but he's drawn 2 pass interference penalties now, so hasn't been getting credit, but they've had to foul him.
Yeah, I mean, he's very quick off the line. He's just very hard for receivers. I mean, he can go up for a ball, you know. He's just such an athlete, and it's kind of hard for cornerbacks to go up with him because he's so tall and big. So that's why the defensive backs have had to foul him.
Also in at wide receiver is John Jordan, so we're seeing a whole new group of offense. He'll try deep for Harwell Harrison, and incomplete. Coverage by Blake Highlight. So 2nd and 10 now. Williamson will hand this one up the middle to, I believe that was Thompson, and swallowed up immediately.
Yes, the Saints have really done a phenomenal job this game. I mean, there's not much more you could have done that could better this performance. So, I mean, Coach Cleland and all the coaches on the Saints staff, you know, have really got to be pleased for this game. You know, after that Trinity game, I feel like everybody was kind of felt down and, you know, kind of iffy about this team. But I think today they proved that they're going to be something special.
Williamson will roll out right, gets rid of it. Pass intended for Kersner is overthrown. 2 defenders there in coverage. So it'll be 4th down, and out trots the punt team. And head coach Lance Clone is having a quick chat with Jack Sears about where to punt this one. Back for St. Agnes is Malcolm Johnson, who's dangerous. So I believe Coach Cullen could be telling Sears to keep it away from him.
Clone is calling for a timeout. And they will take one. And we'll be right back with you after the timeout.
So Sears will punt this one away, and Johnson's able to get it, and here he goes along the left sideline. That's what they were worried about. Able to bring that one back for Probably around 40 yards.
Yeah, Johnson really has some speed on him as the Saints players could bring him down, so he had to run out of bounds.
So 2 minutes remaining now.
As the Saints still lead 35-6.
Stort with the carry. He'll bounce this one out left. Nice run from Ron Stort. Eventually brought down, but not after a nice gain. Looked like a stretch right, and then Stort just
Took
completely
off
switched
left.
direction and just got about a 20-yard gain. Left side there.
And he just completely reversed field.
And we are seeing an entirely new group and on defense as well. D-line and linebackers have been changed. So rush up the middle, and Stewart is brought down.
About 1.5 minutes remaining.
I believe that was Robbie Boykin on the tackle. So a minute remaining, and St. Stephen's St. Agnes inside St. Christopher's 10. They'll hand it off to Laurent, sort of the middle. Nice push, but not able to get in.
Looks like Robert Boykin got in there on the tackle.
So 45 seconds, snap to Stort, trying to get in. Looks like he won't. A gang of Saints defenders there to bring him down.
Looks like Boykin was there again.
Alongside Pete Bell, I believe, and Mac Grant all got back there. So St. Agnes calls timeout here, trying to get in the end zone one more time. I guess just for record's sake, want to make less of an impact on the score, but Saints backup defense will be trying to stop them. 35 seconds remaining. Looks like I form. Heavy set. Laurent Stort's able to get in there untouched. So will shorten the lead a little bit, but ultimately it's been an impressive performance from the Saints today, and they've dominated in every aspect.
They have. I mean, they've really proven themselves to be a special team this year. And next game they play at Woodbury, I believe. So that's also going to be another tough matchup on the road against Woodbury. Is a very talented team. So let's see if they can win next week as well. Keep the record at 2-1.
So they'll go for two here, just trying to garner every point they can, but Laurent Stort's unable to get in.
Am I doing an interview? Who should I interview?
Nico.
So Logue kicks this one away into the end zone. Saints will come out and take a knee to end the game. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 for the Varsity Soccer versus Gonzaga. Should be a good one. We'll be live streaming it on SEC TV, right where you're watching right now. And be sure to stay tuned after the game for Aubrey Bowles' post-game interview. So Gil Williams will take a kneel, and that'll do it. Your St. Christopher Saints 35, St. Stephen St. Agnes 12. Stay tuned for Aubrey Bowles' post-game interview. So here for some quick stats after the game. Will Taswell led in receiving for St. Christopher's. 7 receptions, 128 yards. On the opposing side of the ball for St. Agnes, Malcolm Johnson had 6 receptions, 130 yards, and a touchdown. Impressive performance from him today. Tyson Hill was 11 for 31, an interception, 200 yards, and a touchdown. Griffin O'Farrell, 15 for 21, 182 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Great performance from him. will be down going for Jeff Moore and Aubrey Bowles in review.
All right, so we are here with number 44, Jeff Moore, linebacker, key player on the Saints defense today. Jeff, what do you think the key was defensively to stop St. Stephen St. Agnes from scoring?
I think after the Trinity game, we really wanted to focus on running our defense the right way and correctly, and always being in the right place for every single player. And we stressed that all week, and we came out today and we really worked hard on being in the right place. And our defense is based off everybody working together, doing what you're supposed to do. And we all did that, and we ended up playing really well on defense. So I'm proud of the boys for that.
Thank you. Good game today.